What's up, guys? My name is Aisha, and this channel, we talk about lots. We talk about hair, we talk about health, we talk about programming, and a little bit in between on this lovely episode of Locs. And we are going to talk about what to do when you are either swimming or what to do when you are exercising. So let's get into it, y'all. All right, so locs and swimming. Now, I'm not going to lean too much into the stereotype, right, that, brown folk don't get in the pool. But let's be real. There is a history of brown folk not getting in the pool, not only from a systemic reasoning, which we can leave that behind, but also our hair, which is the biggest reason we don't really get in the pool. Because, y'all, our hair, sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it's not. And sometimes I don't want to redo my hair. I don't know about y'all, but I haven't got my hair wet because I don't want to redo it. Or I haven't got my hair wet because it's too much stuff up in my hair, and then it's stuck in your eyes, and then it's burning your eyes, whatever. Okay. And essentially, I just don't want to get my hair wet, just period. I just don't want to have to deal with it. But when it comes to locs, because there's so much versatility, and because there is that, that permanency for it, and it is in its lock state, its luscious, awesome state, this swimming is really not a big deal. But there are some things you can do when you go swimming to help with the locs. All right. So let's start off. If you are a beginner, right? Not a beginner swimmer, but you just got your locs installed, you are living your best life, but nothing's locked up, right? Those suckers can unravel, they can unbraid themselves, just come loose. And if you have inner locs, they can unlock themselves at this point. So if you're a beginner within that first year, you want to make sure that if you are going swimming, one, to invest in a swim cap, especially if you're doing it for exercise, or you're doing it as a class, or you're doing it just to learn how to swim. Make sure you get a cap. Now, there are so many different caps out there. So if you're a beginner and you have like 3 inches of hair, you can get a regular swim cap. It will fit in there perfectly. Nothing will happen. It will be great. If you are starting off with like 10 inches of hair and your hair is just too much for that swim cap, there are options. Okay, y'all. And it just takes a simple search on the internet to find a swim cap that's big enough for you. Now, you're going to the internet, right? You'll look up all these things, and they'll have like large, extra large, whatnot, and you can see how it kind of fits your head. What I encourage you is to, one, read the reviews with people who actually have a lot of hair under that cap, and then two, try it out. If you get it and it doesn't work, send it back and try out another one. Because I've had swim caps that are like extra large, but they fit more like a medium. And I've had them extra large and they're too big, right? When I go swimming, my whole head is drenched in water. Another tip I would recommend is that if you have a lot of hair, first, before you put your hair under that cap, just loose. And this is for people who may be more matured in their journey, so their locs have matured. If you don't necessarily want to twist them and band them, you can also braid them down. Okay, y'all? Straight back cornrows always work. That way your hair isn't everywhere up under that cap, and it's also protected as well. And so this could go for actually a beginner as well. So if you just got your locs done and you don't want to sit there and take your bunches and twist it and roll it up and do all that stuff, then I would recommend you just braid it back. And that's for anybody who has like 3 inches of hair or 33 inches of hair. You can just take it, braid it back, and then go for it. Alternative to braiding it back, if you're like, Aisha, I can't do no cornrows, just braid your hair. Take chunky sections, right? I wouldn't go too small, especially if you're looking to take them out after you finish swimming. It's just less hassle and less time. Now, if you're going to keep in these braids and you want them to thrive and then take them out and they're all crinkly and beautiful, go for it. All right. But taking chunks of hair. So for example, when I used to swim, this is what I would do, because as my hair got longer and thicker, it was just harder. It didn't matter how big the swim cap was. It was just heavy. And I was just like, I can't do this. And then my loctician, with all her wisdom, told me, hey, braid them up individually. So I would just take a chunk, braid it all the way down, just like so. Just like so, y'all. Boop, boop, boop. And braid it the rest of the way, and then put it under the cap. And that way my hair stayed together, but also the cap fit even better. So if you're finding that you got the biggest cap, that water is getting in, that you can't seem to find a good solution, try this as well. Try braiding your hair, either straight back cornrows or just individual braids, and then tucking them under. Another thing with swim caps is that you don't want, not that this happens, y'all, because honestly, okay, let me say this real quick. All right, let me say, bonnets are not made for the pool. I just said it. We just had to get that, clear the air. They are not swim caps. So if you wear a bonnet in the pool and then you get sprinkled on, or somebody shoots you with a water gun, or somebody dunks you, dude, you might as well have nothing on your hair, because bonnets are not waterproof whatsoever. Your hair will absolutely, without a doubt, get wet. They are not swim caps. That was my disclaimer. All right. So when you have that swim cap, making sure that it's covering your forehead, it's covering pretty much all of your hair. Like, you can put them over your ears if you wish. I don't necessarily like to, because when it's over my ears, sometimes water seeps into my ears, and then I have swimmer's ear, and nobody wants some problems. Okay. So make sure it's covering everything. You can get swim caps that have kind of an ear cap as well, and it goes all the way around. Just making sure that your cap didn't like start back here, y'all, because that's hair. You're exposing that, and they can get up in there because it's not a flat surface like your forehead or whatnot. All right. So invest in a swim cap, especially if you go often, to protect that hair. But if you're just frolicking about, it really is not a big deal. So swimming, going to the pool to actually do laps, do a class, do lessons, versus just going to the pool. Now, if you're just going to the pool and you have beginner locks, I would still encourage you to braid it, to bind it at the bottom, to do something with your hair. Because again, if you were to fall in and your hair were to get drenched, you don't want it to become susceptible to, one, just unraveling, or two, just any kind of damage. Because then with that chlorine, with that salt water, y'all, you definitely want to rinse that out. Okay, you definitely want to get it out, and you want to get it out as soon as possible. And if your hair has already been exposed to that, and then you're going in and washing your hair without any kind of braids or anything in your hair, they could fall out. And we don't want that. We pay hundreds of dollars for these beautiful things. We want to keep them in our head. Okay. So if you're going swimming just for recreational reasons, just be mindful of your hair and what's going on. When I go out to the pool with my babies, my hair is just up, y'all. It's just up. Because I really don't like wet hair touching me at all. Like, even if I'm in the pool and I'm doing different things, I don't like the tips of my hair to be wet. So I usually will put my hair up in a high bun. Sometimes I'll wrap like a scarf around my hair. And that's just because I like the way it looks, right? Sometimes I'll wear it down because I know that we're going to like a wading pool where like 1 foot, 2 feet of water, and I'm not swimming any kind of way. All right. So when you're swimming, just be mindful of those little things that can occur while you're swimming, while you're doing stuff. And let me say this. I actually took swim lessons because I wanted to know how to be very efficient and very strong swimmer. And I remember I was a couple of months into my session, and I said, oh my gosh, my head is so heavy. And I had so much water in my swim cap. At the time, it was just so much water. And my instructor was like, well, you can just cut all your hair off. And I was like, I don't need to learn how to swim that bad. I really don't. Like, I know how to swim enough to save myself. Okay. I don't need to be Michael Phelps out here. I will not be cutting nothing out. But I remember saying that to him, and he thought that was the funniest thing. And I was like, I am dead serious. Hair, don't touch the hair. Don't mess with the hair. You can mess with everything else. Don't mess with the hair. All right. So locks and swimming, those are just my personal tips. These are things I personally experienced, but also being mindful of your hair. All right, ladies, we have locks and exercise. Now, if you like exercise, if you are a mover and a shaker, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, give me all the things, because I want to know, first of all, because this channel is not only about the health of hair, it's the health of your body, the health of your mind, and that includes fitness. Now, also, if you're into fitness and you like a HIIT workout, you like those things to get your heart pumping and get the sweat going, we know that sweat is all up in the hair. So just some of my tips to help with that, to help combat that, and to help you just move forward with it. And having locks when exercising is, y'all, the freedom that comes behind that is just astronomical, because I don't have to worry about what products I have. I don't have to worry about hair bands. I don't have to worry about all these things that I had to before when I worked out and had to go to work, when I worked out and had to meet someone and wanted to look presentable, because I sweat, y'all. I sweat. Sometimes I'm carrying 2 or 3 headbands with me just to catch all the sweat, okay? Because I sweat from my scalp. And so that was a big deal. So I had to make sure that my hair was sustainable and that it looked okay. Because we know, ladies, that if you have loose natural hair and you gel that sucker down and you start sweating and moisture gets up in there, that gel ain't gonna last 1 second. All right. And that was happening. So when I got locks, it took all of that away, but there's still care for your locks when you are exercising. Okay. So one, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. If you have baby locks, protect those baby locks at all costs from any moisture, from everything. Protect them. If you are more matured in your locks, things you can do. You can wear your hair in a higher ponytail, right? And so that means that when you sweat, or you sweat in the back of your neck and the nape of your neck, that the sweat is just running down your body versus running down your hair. Okay, what do I mean by that? So when my hair is down and I'm sweating on the back of my neck, my sweat tends to run down my lock. So it gets all caught up in my lock. It sits there, it comes down. And that's just normal. That's just natural. You can see people, if they're out for a run and they have some hairs on the back of their neck and they're laying down, they are covered in sweat. And that's just the nature of the beast. But to help that, put your hair in a ponytail. Also, one of my favorite things, and I talk about this in another video, are wearing hats. And all of mine are moisture wicking hats. That means they dry very, very, very fast. And they also just suck up a lot of the sweat. And so that helps me, because when I have my hair in a ponytail, I can put on my hat, which, y'all, these hats are bomb. And they were discontinued and it hurt my whole soul, and I don't know where to find them. So if you know where the Asana hats are, they are moisture wicking and they have an elastic band, which is beautiful for those who don't have teeny tiny heads or who have a lot of hair, because they stretch and they are beautiful and I love them. And I can't find them anymore, which makes me sad. So if you know Asana, I don't even know if y'all still in business. If y'all are, I would love some more of those hats. Carrying on. All right. So making sure that you have your hair up. Also, a good rinse or two doesn't kill the hair. So if you're like, man, I cannot wash my hair beyond or within 2 weeks of my, appointment, or I can't wash it that often because my scalp, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the reason is, y'all throw some water on that. I like to rinse out my hair when I'm working out. And because it gets the sweat out of my hair, it kind of takes away some of that moisture that came from the salt from my sweat, right? And it kind of rinses that out. And then I can just let it air dry, or I just dry it myself. Because again, I don't like wet hair on my neck. So oftentimes it is up and I let it dry out. And it feels like I got it washed. It's so refreshing. Also, another thing that I love to do is to refresh my hair after a workout or after a couple of weeks of working out is spraying a little rose water. 1, it smells great. And then 2, it helps to moisturize my hair, or hydrate my hair, not moisturize, because we talked about that word, right? It helps to hydrate my hair. It helps to hydrate my hair, and it smells good, and it gives my hair a little bit more of a sheen versus not. And not a huge sheen, but sometimes it starts to look a little dull, especially when it gets closer to an appointment. And so I have to refresh it. And oftentimes I'll put that rose water in. Sometimes I'll spray it with a little jojoba oil, or any kind of oil, really, any hair oil, pretty much anything that smells good, we're going in the hair just to give it a little refresh. And I don't do that often. I do that, oh gosh, y'all, maybe once in between every tie. Spraying it with the extra additional rose water and oil. Rose water is pretty a routine thing for me, but that oil, I don't want there to be too much buildup or anything like that. So exercising, my tips for you are to make sure, one, okay, that if you have baby locks, you're protecting them baby locks at all costs, okay? Two, get yourself a nice moisture wicking hat, preferably with a satin front, so your hairline stays intact, especially if you are sensitive to it, okay? My hairline don't care. I can wear whatever it is on the front of my hair. It really does not react, but that's not the case for everybody. Keep your hair up, okay, y'all? That is a tip. Keep your hair up so that sweat and that salt is not running all through your locks each and every day, especially if you are a heavy sweater. You do not want that all in your hair. And rinse it out. It's okay to rinse out your hair. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, y'all. All right. So if you're going swimming, if you're exercising, these are some of the tips that I have for you. These are some of the tips that I've used on myself, my experience over the last almost 5 years of having locks. Use them, ask questions, no, because honestly, knowing your hair and knowing what works, what doesn't work, will create an even better journey for you during this locks, during all of this locks. Y'all, we're in the era of locks. Locks, locks, la 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 locks, la 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 la, la 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 la. Okay. We're in the era of locks. So get your information, do it. If you're a swimmer, if you are exercising and you sweat a lot, watch this video. And y'all also tell me if you are looking for other things. Like if you want subjects of anything health related, anything fitness, anything nutrition, anything in locks or just natural hair, let me know and we can talk about it. All right, guys. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.